Welcome back to a windy morning. It's been raining here tonight, so that's why I have covered up Ram truck. And it said that it was going to rain this morning also, but at the moment it looks like we're getting some beautiful weather. And that's really great because I wanted to work outside here with Ram truck today and finish it. Probably never gonna be finished, but I want to finish everything that we have started with the interior, doors and so on. And also, if we're lucky, we get our powering steering pump here today. The ETA was today, so hopefully it arrives, and then we can finish everything that I've been wanting to do on it. But yeah, we're gonna start with the interior here, and there's something I've been wanting to do. I'm not sure if you've noticed it, but we have a black carpet in the truck. We have black doors. We have our headliner is different. It's multicolored and the dash is white, and I don't really mind that, but there's something I really don't like, and that is our bench seat, because it is gray, it is boring. It's from a 90s OBS truck, which I don't mind, but it is super boring gray. So I'm gonna try something. I have bought some vinyl spray paint, this one, and it's from a local company here. And in case you weren't around at the time, I had a 64 Chevelle last summer that I put in a mismatched interior in. The front seats and the rear seat didn't match, and I painted them with that vinyl color, and it looked amazing. So that's a cloth bench and not a vinyl, so we'll see how good it lasts. But I want to try it. Maybe we can cover it later or something, but I want to try and make it black. I think it's gonna look good. And I was worried it was gonna be raining here this morning, so I wouldn't be able to do that, but now the sun is shining and I can't really see any rain clouds, so we're just gonna go ahead, paint the bench now directly so it can start drying. Then we can put in a tank, put in a carpet, put on the doors. Maybe want to put in the bench before the doors because that's a little bit easier, but you get my point. Also gonna put in the seat belts, which we have to do some work with. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. So let's paint the bench. Here we have the bench. I have went over it with some acetone, and I mean, you can still see it's dirty, but I don't care. If I was smart, I would have pressure washed this when I removed it from Ram truck, but I didn't do that. So here we are. I've scuffed the seat brackets so we can paint those also, and we'll see how it is. I mean, it's gonna get sucked up by this cloth, so I don't think it's gonna rub off that easily. Maybe it will be a bit stiff in the beginning, but I think it's gonna soften up. On the sides we have some vinyl, so I think that's gonna work out great. So yeah, we'll see how long it lasts, but now I'm gonna spray this. This looks amazing, and if we can hold anything like, or I mean look anything like this in a while, I'm gonna stay happy. So this turned out super nice. In case you're wondering, this was about four cans of this Radical paint, which in my area was about $30. So for $30 we'll turn it into this, and yeah, I really think it's gonna make this interior look so nice. And I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that we will, when I sit here, it will get worn and maybe it will become a gray spot, but I mean, who cares? I can just buy some more paint and paint it over again. So I think this is gonna be great. So that will sit for a few hours now and dry, since I have put so much paint on it. So while that dries, we're gonna go ahead and start working on Ram truck here. So I'm gonna uncover that, remove the doors here. We have to grind this rocker, or everything I welded on the rocker and cab corner. Then I'm gonna put in the tank, put in the carpet, and eventually get to the bench seat. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. We have uncovered Ram truck here, and this looks amazing. I'm really happy with this. So now we can go ahead and put in a tank and a carpet and all of that. And I was thinking a bit here because I mean, we have black door panels or inner doors. We have black carpet. Now we have a black bench seat. So I was thinking maybe we should paint the inside of the cab black. But then I was thinking, I mean, I could just scuff this and rattle can it, but this paint job that you can see here, this truck was originally, or earlier in life, painted in a paint scheme like this. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture, but it was white with some yellow, orange and red stripes like this. So it was actually pretty cool. So I had an idea if I should fix it to that again, but I'm probably not going to do that. But I think this tells a story about the truck, and I think it's pretty cool. So we're not going to ruin it. Also, I mean, we had this rust. I'm not going to bother with it. I don't care. It's going to work just fine. But yeah, I just want to keep this history of the truck. I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, put in the fuel tank and obviously the carpet, but then we have to look at the seat belts. And what was a bit bad, but I'm not gonna say bad, but our seat belt locks are pretty short, so we have to make an extension here to get them up a bit so that they will reach up into the bench. So we have to figure that out. But first, put in the tank and the carpet. Just as fast as I told you that I was going to grind this side, I forgot it. So I went ahead and did that. I put on some of my black paint here so it won't rust immediately. We obviously have to do some bodywork here, which I'm not looking forward to. But the only reason I want to do it is because I want to finish off the bed, which, I mean, I could do it, but it's easier to fix the cab corner when we don't have this. But we'll see if we can get started on that today, or that will be some other day. But yeah, that's done. So we're going to put in the tank and the carpet. But I just wanted to show you here. Unfortunately, the sun has gone away. So hopefully the rain stays away. But this thing is already dry. I can touch it. I could probably sit in it also. So that's really great. So that will definitely be dry enough to put in when we have the tank and the carpet in. So that's amazing. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, put in the tank, put in a carpet. I have to make these, but I don't know how long they will be. Maybe 4 inches, but maybe we put in the bench, measure how long they should be, put the bench away, and yeah, go a little bit back and forth. But it's annoying to put the bench in and out a few times. But yeah, we'll start with the tank and carpet. Tank is in, carpet is in, and this looks really nice. This carpet is horrible with this sand that it's collecting. It's impossible to vacuum out, so I'm gonna take some pressurized air later and try and remove it. But for now, it looks good. And also, it just took a week, but now we have our seat belt bolted in, so that's fantastic. So my plan right now is we're going to put in the bench so that we can measure how much we need to extend these, because obviously these go in there and I don't think that these are long enough to be able to reach out of the holes of the bench. So in with the bench, see how long they need to be. Then I think we can just push the bench forward a bit so we can make those and bolt them in, and then we can get the bench in place and with the seat belts. So that's the plan. Hopefully that won't be too much work, but yeah, put in the bench. Bench is in and it looks fantastic. I'm really happy with this. And I mean, it would look better if the whole interior was black, but for now this is gonna be how it's gonna be. See in the future if we paint the headliner black. But anyway, you can see here I put in the seatbelt female connector, and I mean, I want at least this amount of slack up here. And if we look under here now, we can see that we have the hole in here something, and we have about 20 centimeters, which is roughly 8 inches to where I want to be. So now I'm gonna make some sort of flat iron that bolts down to this hole, goes up, makes a hole up here that we can bolt the seat belts to, and obviously you have to make one over there also. And then I think this is gonna work, so we're gonna fix those. Seat belts are all done now. You can see my extensions there, so they come directly under the holes. And I feel these are, I mean, they're not made to be in a Chevy like this, but they're pretty short. But I mean, it worked on the Chevelle I had before. I used exactly these on the 64 Chevelle I had. But anyway, this is all done, and bench is bolted on permanently, and every time I look at this bench it looks just so nice. But I have a bit of a problem, and I had the exact same problem on the 64 Chevelle that I did this to. If you see here, I can touch this, no problem. But if we go over to this side, it hasn't really dried, and as I had the exact same problem on the 64 Chevelle, and I want to wait to see if it will cure, but my experience is that it doesn't. So I might just see if I can shake some more out of the rattle cans and just spray this one more time. Not sure why it doesn't cure, but maybe that could help. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, this is all done. So I'm gonna go ahead and hang on the doors. Unfortunately, I don't have any update on the power steering pump. I think it's FedEx that is gonna come with it. So hopefully they call and say that they are heading out, but we'll see. But anyway, put on the doors and then we can see what we'll do. Doors are on and it feels amazing. This thing is weather tight again, so we don't have to worry about that. And just having everything back on the truck feels amazing. I painted the rockers and cab corners with some gloss black, so now they are the best looking thing on this whole truck. And also, every time I come in here and I see this bench seat, it just looks so nice. I really like it. And I'm leaning more and more towards painting the dash black also, but that's a project for another day. And I was checking my list here, and we have the power steering pump, we have the valve cover gaskets, we have those. And the leak on the transmission, which I'm not going to bother right now. I don't think it is that bad that I thought before. So with that said, the only thing left is the power steering pump and the valve cover gaskets. Of course, the power steering pump is the most important thing. And I was sitting here like, I hope that thing arrives, so maybe we can drive this thing today. So I was checking my tracking number to see where it was. And then it said it was estimated to be delivered before 2 o'clock. And it's 1:45 here, so I was hoping that would arrive. And then I heard a door close, or it sounded like that. So I rushed to the front of my property and was looking for the FedEx truck, but it wasn't there. But what was there was my package. So they must deliver this like 5 minutes ago, because they haven't updated on their website. I haven't gotten the confirmation that it had arrived from Rock Auto. So it must just have arrived. So that's amazing. Now we have our power steering pump, so I'm gonna go ahead, put that on. Hopefully everything goes well. Maybe we have time to put on the valve cover gaskets, and then we can finally take this thing out on the road. That would be amazing. So yeah, let's try and get the power steering pump in place. We have our pump there, and I forgot that I ordered some other stuff. Here we have everything left for El Camino: front wheel bearings, wheel seals, and the sleeves for the tie rods, so we can get the El Camino together. And this looks good, but there's something different. And you can see the return line is here on the old pump and in the center on this pump. So I really don't hope this doesn't interfere with our bracketry. But as you can see, this thing has been in a very steep angle. So maybe this is how it's supposed to look, and that has been changed. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna try and fit it here, and hopefully it doesn't interfere with any of our bracket. But I think it should work. So yeah, just gonna try and get it in place. Power steering pump in place, and the new return area or location is better than the other one. Now it goes through the bracket instead of under it, so that's great. I only realigned it a little bit, so everything here is connected. We just have to fill it up and put on the lid. But I obviously want to start it and start bleeding it and see if it works. But before that, I want to put on the alternator. But then I thought, might as well change the valve cover gaskets, because the alternator is a little bit in the way. And also then we don't pump up a lot of oil in the top end that has to drain. Now it's drain has been sitting here for a week. So let's change the valve cover gaskets, then we can put all of this together. Got the valve covers off, and no surprises here. Looks decent inside, not too grimy. But I've had a ticking sound on this thing, and I thought it might be valve train, and some of the rockers are pretty loose. So I'm gonna go ahead, tighten some of them, and hopefully we get rid of that noise. And you can see the valve cover gaskets looks pretty bad. So hopefully we solve 2 problems with this. So adjust some of them and slap it together. Valve covers back on with new gaskets, pump tightened, everything with oil in it and the lid on, alternator back on, everything is done. And I filled up the pump, and probably it's gonna scream a little bit, and we have to fill it once, but everything should work now. So we're gonna start it, see how it works, fill it, and hopefully we have solved the issue. So unfortunately, it sounded like the pump was dry, so I checked it and it's still as full as when I filled it, and you can hear that. I don't know how to describe the sound, but something is like a leak or something. I thought that was the pump having some sort of overpressure, and the oil is now foamy, so I'm not sure, but maybe we have a problem with steering box and not the power steering pump, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm not sure really what problem we have here, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna check a little bit here, but maybe the pump wasn't bad after all, so we have to figure something out. So unfortunately, as you can hear, we have some problem here at the pump. Feels like maybe it's clogged somewhere down to the pump, so it builds a lot of pressure, or I mean it's stopped down in the steering box. It builds over pressure in the power steering pump. I'm assuming, I'm not that acquainted with steering boxes and how they work, but unfortunately it seems like we have spent $130 in vain in fixing the pump, but that's life sometimes. I'm gonna go ahead and check what a new steering box costs. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be pretty expensive, but I really don't understand why this problem would become, but yeah, we have to think a little bit. I'm guessing there's a stop somewhere that's preventing the oil from coming to the, I mean, it is, I have some power steering, but it works a little better to the left than to the right, but yeah, I'm not sure, but I have to do some thinking about this. I've been doing some research, and from what I have read on some old forums is that something gets worn in the steering gear, and that allows pressure from the pump to just flow right through it and back into the reservoir, and that causes it to overflow and foam. And this sounds pretty likely, and from what the threads I saw, they just changed the steering gear and the problem was solved. And I mean, I could change the steering gear, and I have checked on Rock Auto. It's only like $100, but then it's $100 core, and unfortunately that's not an alternative for me. And with shipping and everything without the core, it's gonna cost me about $400 to have a new steering gear here, and that's a lot of money, but also that will probably definitely solve our problems. I could buy a rebuild kit, but the only thing in those kits, the biggest one I can find, there's a bearing, there's some seals and some gaskets, and I really feel that there's probably a part inside the steering box that is worn that you don't get in the kit. I can't really see. I mean, of course a seal could be broken and pushing fluid through, but it just feels that something is worn out beyond what I can repair with this rebuild kit. I'm not sure, I'm not an expert. Also, I gotta say, I can buy, I said that I can have a steering box at home in about a week for $400, or I can buy it over the counter here in Sweden today if I wanted to, the exact same part number for $800. So it's $100 to buy, and of course with course it's $200, but it's 400% more expensive to buy it here in Sweden. And as I said, I can get it home with only buying one single item and have it home for half the price. So I'm not buying the one here in Sweden. I can wait a week. It's bad that we're in this situation, but please tell me your opinions if you think it should work with the rebuild kit, or if I should just buy the pump or steering gear. I'm thinking back and forth here, but I mean, my plan right now was that I'm going to a swap meet this Saturday, and it's Friday tomorrow, and my plan tomorrow was maybe I can just go out, drive this thing, get some miles on it and feel comfortable with it, so I could take it to the swap meet. It's about an hour away, but now it's steering gear, I'm not really sure about it. But I mean, we could just remove the belt and drive it. It's gonna be a pain to steer, but it's gonna work. So I am going to drive it tomorrow, but it's a bit of a setback, and yeah, that's life sometimes. But I'm gonna think a little bit what I'm gonna do here. I'm just gonna go ahead, buy the steering gear and be done with it, or if we can maybe solve it in some other way. But please tell me your opinions. But anyway, that will be all for today, and I mean, I'm super happy with all the progress that we have made here anyway. So nothing bad there. So yeah, we just have to power on tomorrow, I guess. So see you then.